Oracles of Olympus. Welcome to Oracles of Olympus, the podcast of all things in miniature wargaming, role-playing, board games, and general nerd culture, all with a taste of cynicism, sarcasm, and nerdy banter. Please join Kyle, Ryan, CJ, and GM Drew as we break down all the stuff. Hello, and welcome to episode 11 of Oracles of Olympus. I'm GM Drew. With me, as always, are my
Don't sound too excited,
compatriots.
GM Drew.
I am very excited today. I'm on vacation, actually, so...
I'm not.
I know.
Our vacation's
This
over.
is CJ, and I'm not on vacation.
This is the post-road
This is-
Decepticon.
This is Kyle, Warlord of the Wastelands, consumer of flesh. I'm also not on vacations.
And this is your friendly neighborhood manatee.
He's back.
He's back, everybody.
Get him with a stick!
Hit him.
You realize, like, your titles now are becoming like a custodian guard. Like,
Yeah,
we're just going to
I
start
know.
scrolling on the inside of your armor, like Ryan, Big Manatee, Big Swole.
I don't think Ryan's...
I'm not Terse McGuire. Like, they just keep rolling.
I don't think Ryan is a custodian guard. I think he's a Thunder Warrior.
He is a Thunder Warrior.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
you
like
just told me about
proto
the-
power
what was
armor
it?
and cool.
The Babu.
The Babu.
Babu Dakal.
Yeah, the Babu who carries the Emperor's standard and beats people to death with a flag. That's the kind of warrior Ryan is.
Literally rips the arm off of Custodes and
Yeah.
beats him to death
Yeah,
with it.
tears an arm off a custodian guard and beats him to death.
I may or may not, in the past week, have threatened to do that twice.
Yeah, right. He's a Thunder Warrior, a savage warrior, not designed for an enlightened age.
No.
I just had this idea
So basically, a giant madman.
for an entire converted army. It's basically
Ryans?
just Ryan's.
I know a guy that I know a guy with a scanner who can basically we could scan Ryan's head and make him into a 3D model.
Oh my
We could scan Ryan's head and print it out and stick it all
could.
over Thunder Warriors.
I'll do different pants to represent the different units. Like, this is the sweatpants unit.
Oh yeah,
Long
gym
sleeve
shorts.
pants, yeah.
The gym short
Gym
unit.
shorts
Yeah.
unit.
Yep.
That's right.
Well, hello, everyone. We got lots of fun stuff for you today.
Yes.
Missed you.
Let's dive right in, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Legion launched last week while you all were gone to Adepticon.
Yeah.
And it was at Adepticon, too.
It was I got to play my first round at
Yeah,
Adepticon
yeah.
between rounds. Yeah, it was just a quick demo from
Holy-
Victor, who was a
Victor.
nice guy.
Who I was going deaf and called him Richard, and he's like, "What?"
Yeah, he's like, my name is Victor. It's written on this badge. He basically called you an animal.
he did call me an animal,
Yeah.
and I, at that point, was mostly losing my voice. My feet were numb, and I was basically deaf. So
I think everybody's feet gets numb. Like everyone's feet get numb. Like at Adepticon, it's
have
really
a
just
point.
like the sheer pumped aspect that carries you through.
it
the rest
is.
Of it.
You do have like where you break that fifth wall though with feet pain. Like on Adepticon night, like I hit a point where I was like, I can't walk anymore, and then all of a sudden, just magically, like they're numb, they're tingling. I'm good.
Yeah, like my
Like,
feet are numb.
I can't feel
my feet
anything
My
else.
feet never got to the point where they were numb,
My feet were numb.
but they definitely were hurting.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you're usually like for the most part, you're so pumped it just carries you through anyway. But yeah,
So-
we got to try a little.
So we
Star
did
Wars
back.
Legion.
Yeah, we did try Star Wars Legion on a beautiful battlefield.
It was like a kind of
On
like cool
Mustafar.
Mustafar battlefield. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So they had like 3 or 4 demo tables. There was like your obligatory Hoth demo table.
The Hoth
and
one was
and
pretty.
An Endor demo table.
It was the only full size 3x6.
Yeah, but the coolest one was definitely the Mustafar one,
Nice.
which I'm glad that we got to play on it because it was the one that I was like, I want to see what this board looks like.
Yeah.
Like it was Fantasy Flight. I will give them this like on their like because they're not a company you normally would think to make basically tables and terrain and stuff. But
It was
man,
gorgeous.
whoever they hire out to make their display boards, they're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like the Rune Wars
And they're
one from
playable,
Gamma last
yeah.
year was
That's soulless
disgusting.
Rune Wars.
Hey, literally that board was. I was like, this board is so fucking cool.
Do their boards have like the game mats, or were they actually
no.
constructed?
They
Real-
don't. They
real
don't.
stuff.
No.
Real stuff.
These are real things.
These are like actual like bespoke made boards. Like it's
designer tables.
nowhere near as plebeian as
These are tables they're
rollout
definitely
mat.
using for photos, probably for
Yeah,
books,
absolutely.
for a lot of their different media they're using.
It was cool. The game. I mean, we only got basically a very small taste of it, but it was fun.
It is it's very different than other mini games, I think, because the card dynamics.
The card dynamic is a bit weird. That's kind of taking me some getting used to for sure. But yeah, it's different.
Yeah, we had a fair amount of folks come down last Saturday and partake in our launch party.
We had our own stormtrooper. Thank you, Danny.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Danny.
We had a bike scout there, and we did not get our launch kit yet. And I promise those that did show up that are listening, I will make it right if that thing ever shows up. So
Yeah.
A big if.
right.
It turns out they didn't make enough launch kits for all the stores that ordered Legion.
Shocko.
Weird. Huh. Surprise.
Anyway, I like it. It's fun. I played through the base game and
I am super pumped.
shot up
I
some rebels.
love it. I'm ready to put down terrorists wherever my Imperial stormtroopers are needed. So super excited. But holy crap, is it selling?
It's got
It is
Star Wars in the name.
flying off the shelves, literally.
Yeah. It's got Star Wars in the name, and it's popular.
Like,
I think
literally-
it's a game I think people have wanted for a long time.
There's a cruel joke where my stuff keeps getting sold. And it's
Yeah.
not that I'm
Yeah.
bitter. I kind of am.
I
but-
did that.
Yeah, you did that, and then Ryan did that, and I understand why both of you did it, but it still makes me a little sad inside.
at least you got your
I got
core
to
set
the.
now.
I'm gonna be so. Yesterday, I set an ATST over lunch behind the counter for me, and Ryan was working. And Ryan was gone when I got to the store, and I showed up to the store, and I was totally ready. I got there, and G was there, and I'm like, I'm going to build my ATST, G, before we go to dinner. And I start looking around, I'm like, where is it? And then the only way I could describe it was Vader with the no moment, just like dropping your knees, like, no! it was gone.
God. Yeah.
So, but it sold well at Adepticon. I saw.
Yeah, it did. It
Yeah.
sold really well.
Turns out
That's where all the leftover stormtroopers are at, by the way.
Yeah.
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 Because the stormtroopers are already, like, literally as of the Friday, the day after release, stormtroopers just gone, sold out.
Yeah,
No
it's
more.
that. It's the movement templates.
The
and
dice.
And like, the dice is a big deal, and the stormtroopers is a big deal. Moving templates is kind of whatever.
Sure.
Like, you really only need one set between the two people playing
Well, you
at any
wanna
one
know
time
here's-
anyway, but you need more dice, and you need more stormtroopers.
You want to know, here's a big problem with Stormtroopers being sold out, is that for your normal 800-point game, you need 3 core units. Guess who the only core unit is for the Imperials
Fucking
right now?
stormtroopers.
Yep.
Right? It's another one of those times where FFG is like, we're making a game, but we're not making enough of it. Like, it's kind of their MO.
And
at this
how they
point.
do this every time, because it's not like... It's like every single release they do, they're like, God, we hope this takes off. We're not sure if it's going to be good.
Sometimes I dream about going to work for Fantasy Flight, and like I'm going to work in their quality assurance department, and my only job would be like, they would basically send down the numbers, like, all right, here's what we're ordering, and I would just look at them as quality assurance and be like, okay, double it.
Yeah,
Like, cool, I've got this is what you think you need, but turns out you'll need double this.
And
like,
that's lunch.
right, yeah, like nailed it. I'll take my salary now. Like, I could make that company work.
Yes.
Because they really, like, that's what it is, right? Like, they make phenomenal games, great quality, great products. They just don't make enough of that shit ever. They need to just tone up how much they're putting out there.
So
Take a risk, damn it.
Yeah, it's not even a risk, really, right? Like, you're
Right.
just printing money.
But for them, they're sitting in a boardroom like, well, if we overdo it, then we'll have
Yeah,
all
they're
this
certainly
product
trying.
sitting there.
They're certainly trying to min-max their profit there, right? Like, they want to put the minimal amount of product.
trying to
out for
avoid, I
maximum
think, probably the
amount of-
Rune Wars disaster.
Yeah, I think
Like having
that's-
to build a raft to move homeless people around with them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's still a lot of Rune Wars like left in their
Poor
minds.
Rune Wars.
Poor
It
Rune
really
Wars.
is not a bad game. It's a cool game.
It's a cool game. It's got
Good
cool
mechanics,
Minis. It's got a
cool
cool
minis.
background. It's just a background that no one gives a shit about.
Yeah, it's
or
just a
knows
generic
about.
fantasy background.
Well, it's not even generic. It's literally the rune-bound
Yeah,
background,
Descent.
which is from Descent. It was just actually a really cool background.
If they had have taken this and bought and say the rights to, let's say, Game of Thrones, or
Yeah, if they had done this as like Game of Thrones, like
Yeah.
people would be all over that.
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Like that's where Coolman You're Not really learned from. I think Rune Wars' mistake. And they're
They need a
basically
cool
their
IP.
basically their version of Rune Wars is Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And people are gonna love that because why the fuck would I not want to play?
You know how they could really
delicious
shit on Cool
Bolton
Mini or Not?
infantry?
They get the movie rights to Game of Thrones, whereas Cool Mini or Not has the book rights. That
Oh,
really
right.
shit on Cool Mini or Not's parade.
Well,
if
no,
they
it's
made
the
a
other way
game.
around though because Cool Mini or Not is getting the movie rights
No, they have the book
because
rights.
FFG has the book rights because that's who makes all the Game
Oh,
of
you're
Thrones
right.
programs. So no, FFG
All right,
has the
so
book rights.
FSG sad.
FFG's got the but I mean the book, for what it's worth, if you've never seen the book art and stuff like
It's
that,
good.
the original art from Game of Thrones, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Like it looks good. Like do not feel bad for FFG because they have the book art. Like the book art is badass. Like there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that's kind of weird is Tyrion looks like a fucking weird little monster.
His head's like the size of his whole body. But I will say, from a mini gamer perspective, so I got my box, I opened it up, and the minis are good. They go together well. There's a couple areas where they kind of, if they fit into joints, they're I think kind of made to be pushed together models. But in order to make the arms fit smoothly on some of them, you really have to hold them in and let your glue dry. Another tip: don't use plastic glue.
Yeah, regular glue.
Regular super glue.
I guess I wish we would have known that. Turns out that they're a composite plastic that's not the normal kind that works with plastic glue. So.
I tried last night plastic glue on it just to see, and you just get like a gooey mess. It doesn't even dry. Super glue is what you have to use, and it works fine. You've got to hold it a little longer unless you have some Instaset.
I always just say hold it a little longer. So you get a better bond.
You do.
Instaset is nice if you need to save time or you have to tack a really difficult piece, but it does make it more brittle.
But
so it's more likely to break over
They're
time.
definitely Muggle-safe models because they're easy to put together.
Yeah.
And they're already clipped out of their sprues. And frankly, they did a good job clipping them out of the sprues.
Yeah.
Way to go, Chinese children.
Way to go, Chinese children.
I found one the other day. It's like, let's go, child labor force. Yeah. We need to build a Chinese restaurant now. So...
Yeah.
It's like the way Chinese
That's what Cheyenne needs,
generations.
is another Chinese restaurant.
Or just have a whole bunch of kids in the back of your kitchen grating cheese.
Yeah, like...
Kids have been cutting cheese for hundreds of years.
Yep. So...
That's a nice little inside downtown joke.
Yep, moving on.
Hey, how are you today?
That's an inside joke about a pizza place where the owner's going insane and he's in a war with the city because they find him because he was having children cutting cheese all day. So it's a long story.
Turns out in the modern day and age that child labor is illegal. So weird.
It's unfortunate, but so yeah, the models are great. They go together well. They're a bigger scale though, aren't they? I think I want to say they're like a 35.
They're more like a 32. I think.
Yeah, 32 millimeter.
They're like a heroic scale, which I didn't know. So the weird thing is all the pictures and stuff. The sizes didn't really kind of come out.
No.
Like if you look at the ATSTs in the pictures, all the preview pictures of the ATST, that thing looks fucking mammoth.
Huge.
And then I saw them built, and I was like, "Oh, it's just a regular size ATST." Like it doesn't. It's maybe 8 inches tall.
Mm-hmm.
Like in all the pictures, they made that son of a bitch look like it was 12, 16 inches tall. Because I think in all the pictures they built it fully stretched out, like it was standing as tall as it could
And you
stand.
get an angle down on the ground.
Yeah, right. And normally you would build it so that it's just kind of sitting there like any other scenes you've seen it in the movie where it's getting ready to kill some Ewoks or something, right? It's getting ready to blast some Ewoks and kill some rebel scum.
I mean, I do think that one of the things I did not know going into it is. I was a little part of me that was worried they were just going to be like Imperial Assault minis, and they're not.
I'm glad that they're not Imperial Assault minis. Not that Imperial Assault minis look bad.
No.
They're good minis. They're just not as good as these minis.
No, these minis are really good.
Yeah, these ones are pretty nice.
So I'm excited to play the game. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm actually... Maybe I need my head checked, but I really want to paint Stormtroopers. So I'll admit, though, I'm going to totally spray them white.
I don't know why you wouldn't spray them white.
Yeah, right.
Find me a reason that you don't just primer your Stormtroopers white.
Yeah. And then I'll go in with a line. I've painted enough years I can line in black.
Yeah. I mean, it's not... Stormtroopers are...
Spoiler alert, you can clean up where you get extra black over things.
Right. Stormtroopers, for people who have painted more than maybe a year, are not going to be tough models. None of the stuff in the... It's a good amount of detail, but it's not so detailed that it's going to be difficult to paint.
I just have to say, though, I'm not going to paint Luke in his stupid Bespin jumpsuit. I fucking hate that jumpsuit.
You don't like the Bespin Luke, huh?
No, it's stupid. I hate
my
that
favorite.
jumpsuit.
My favorite Luke is Return of the Jedi.
Feels like
black suit. Luke.
That's my favorite, too. Bespin Luke feels like you found him at a Greyhound bus stop.
He's homeless Luke.
It's homeless Luke.
Why are you wearing thermal gear everywhere? I don't know.
That's all I had.
It's cold out here.
At the streets. No, my Luke's going to get painted in black. Granted, his black stuff's now going to have super cool cargo pants, but
yeah,
I'm not going to do the stupid.
Why not just painting him? Why not just paint him in an X-wing jumpsuit, like the orange?
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. This is what I do. I piss excellence.
Could you imagine a storyline with the bus hobo Luke and him trying to tell the story of how he got his laser sword. He's like, a desert hobo handed me.
yeah, he said it was my father's.
He's like, he's been looking for me.
I had to save the rebellion.
It turns out he also dropped me off at my foster parents' house.
Yeah.
I just picture
Where I was a farmer.
I just picture him lighting up
Okay,
this
crazy
laser
dude.
sword, and like the bus security is like, "Whoa, buddy, it's okay, just put it down.
Yeah, we're like, oh god, we got another.
We're gonna get you to a shelter."
They pull out real guns and
Yeah.
they're just like, dude, put it down. He's just like, no, it's okay. It was my father's. I know how to use this.
Does a laser
Got the force.
Does a lightsaber? This is something that's always I've questioned. Does a lightsaber stop real bullets? Drew, you're a Star Wars guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Does
it's
it?
not real
Yeah,
bullets.
it
Does
is.
it just
Still a
melt them?
goddamn
Yeah.
laser.
I don't think
Yeah.
you can reflect them though, right?
It doesn't reflect.
You can't
bullets.
bounce them back
No.
because I feel like
So
they just turned to
for
like
what it's
liquid
worth,
when you
there's
hit
like
them.
4 things in Star Wars that use slug throwers, and it's like a quarter of them are fucking Tusken Raiders. So they're fairly avoidable for what that's worth. You have to be on a specific planet out of all of the thousands and thousands of Star Wars planets. Like
Like,
the
God damn it,
chances,
Tuskens.
there are slug throwers in Star Wars, but the chances of you running into a slug thrower fairly small. They're not that. They're not
Like
that.
the most likely place you're going to run into Tusken Raiders is Gunnison, I think.
Gunnison, Colorado has Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. And after and for those who listen to our Adepticon episode, I'm pretty sure Fort Morgan. Like I was
Fort
a little
Morgan probably got
worried
'em.
driving past all the shit heaps, literal shit heaps. I'm not even being figurative here, literal. Like at any moment, there's going to be like bullets ricocheting off my Hyundai, and I'm going to hear that. Yeah, like brrr.
Right?
It's like they're charging onto the highway with gaffy sticks. Like,
And you really have to be careful. You really have to be careful moving into those areas. You know, if you're going to move into a town like that,
Yeah.
I suggest you find a grade A real estate agent
You
like
do.
Jim Weaver
you do
to help you
find the place.
find a place with little or no Tusken Raiders, right?
Is it weird that I just got a mental image of like a Mexican mafia battling it out with Tusken Raiders on the south side of Fort Morgan?
That is weird.
It's the two
big.
things that came to mind in Fort
A little
Morgan.
bit.
What? Why
Mexican
is there a
gang
lot
members?
of Mexican mafia in Fort
Dude,
Morgan?
there's a shit ton of Mexicans in Fort Morgan.
That would be so great.
Sure.
Though. Just
There's
out of
a
nowhere,
lot-
Just out of nowhere. Yo, Holmes, we're gonna do a drive-by on those
There's
tacos.
like a lot of 10-gallon
Bust a
hats
cap in those
and
essays.
really pointy cowboy boots in Fort Morgan.
10-gallon hats and pointy cowboy boots.
Yep.
Yeah.
and then gaffy sticks and clothes.
Gaffy sticks and cloaks.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
I don't know.
All right, we should move on.
Necron Codex?
Necron
Yes.
Codex.
Necron
Yay.
I sit. This is when I'm getting one of those weird time Vinda loops. Like I have the book with me right now, which I guess you in
Oh,
the future
no.
could have it.
Oh, Jesus.
So
We're recording and it's already out, so they've got it. It
They
came
have
out. We're recording
unless
on
we've
Saturday.
sold out,
It came out today.
We had-
then
we had
they're
at least-
hearing from the
Oh,
past about the
no.
book in the future.
No.
That's okay. Just
No,
trust me.
my
Just,
friend. Fuck you.
No, fuck you.
No,
You tell
fuck
me to
you.
fuck me. I'm fucking myself.
I'm fucking myself, my friend.
It's like, oh no, fuck you. Okay, back to the book. Yeah, time
And
paradox.
we've hit our
here.
hard R for the day.
Yeah, we have hit our hard R.
The
The second hard R for the day, actually.
This is a new episode.
It's been a long
new
day, folks.
Yeah.
I want to put a shout out in this book to my boy Nemisar Zandikar because he is super cool. He's the one who's crazy. He's like bonkers crazy.
Nemesis Zendrick is basically
He's
Don
Don Quixote,
Quixote.
yeah.
Yeah.
He
He's
doesn't
just
realize
manners.
he doesn't realize he's metal or been asleep for like a million years, and so he's like constantly like enemy commanders will capture him and be like, "Come join me at a dinner party." Like,
Basically, when he was in his tomb, some water got into his circuits and fucked some shit up, right? Like it's kind of like your old phone. It's not completely broken, and you put it in the rice, so it's kind of works, but it's got that weird coloration on the screen
does.
that like kind of flickers every once in a while. That's Nemesis Zandrick's brain.
it is Nemisar Zandikar's brain.
He's just nanners.
So, but he was known as like the greatest living general they had.
Yeah, right,
And
like,
apparently,
he's-
the thing
he's
you
a-
can't remember is being an awesome general.
Right, he's just eccentric as fuck now.
Yeah,
With a pink flamingo.
Yeah, right. Like,
Pink
he's
Flamingo.
he's Martin
He's
the
Martin
Necron.
on the train.
Yeah.
Listen to the Adepticon episode if you want that reference. So one of the things he has he is actually. I'll just start with the funny rule. He has transient madness as a rule.
Yeah. Sounds right.
You roll a d3 at the beginning of your turn and consult the following table. Choose a friendly Sawatek infantry unit within 6 inches of the Nemisar, and they get the relevant ability until the beginning of your next turn. For 1, they have Avenge the Fallen, which adds 1 to the attack's characteristic models in the unit. 2 is my favorite, Quell the Rebellion, which is improve the ballistic skill of all models in this unit by 1. That's actually pretty good.
Which is nice because they actually get extra range, I think, if they sit still for Sawtech Dynasty.
Yes, they do.
Maybe that's theirs. So.
And 3 is Solar Mills, charge, ? Reroll charge marks for reroll charge rolls for this unit. So he's just bonkers. But he actually has a great rule, a little gem in
He
here.
is super good with Immortals, especially if you can get that +1 to hit.
Yes.
Your Immortals are hitting on 2s then. That's pretty
good.
Yeah, super good.
He has counter tactics, which is at the beginning of your opponent's turn, choose one enemy character within 12 inches of the Nemesaur. Any aura abilities that character has cannot be used until the beginning of your opponent's next turn. That's huge.
It is super
And
big.
it's not just one aura,
Shutting
it's all
down,
auras.
it's all auras in range. Shutting down auras. So 8th edition is
Built on
definitely
auras.
the bubble edition, right? Everything is like, I need to be within X amount of inches of this character for this bonus. Him shutting that down, so good.
How fun would it be to turn Gilliman off?
Right? Yeah, you can turn off Gilliman, turn off a Chapter Master, turn off. I mean, literally, there's so much
Tau
stuff
Commander
that
and the
Tau
Mock
Commander.
Call.
Yo,
Turn off Tau Bubble Overwatch.
Yo, you
Like,
could turn off Mortarian's free mortal wounds
Yes.
for everything.
Yeah, there's
Like, sorry,
he's-
Mortarian. Like, I wonder how he counter tactics Mortarian is. You just have like a Febreze bottle, like
Well, like
ancient Necron Febreze.
So in the fluff, he thinks that everyone he's fighting are other Necron tier.
Yeah.
Like he's just like when he fights orcs, he's like, I don't understand why these other Necron tier have daubed green paint on themselves.
Yeah, like-
he's just like he's totally not lucid. Like he's like your crazy grandma who's been going downhill for a while. Like mentally he's not all there. So
That's why, like, he'll capture orc warlords and invite them to join him at his house.
yeah,
Like,
right. Like you want to hang out and have dinner, like, and they're just like, "Brrr," you know, like
And that's
basically
until
turd
Vargard
screaming
Oberon,
at him.
his loyal right hand, crushes her head in with a rock that night.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like I feel like Vargard Oberon is kind of like his butler. He's like
Yeah.
he's more or less he's Mr. Beauregard.
Yeah, he is.
Who's like, kind of bails him out all the time and like kills people in the middle of the night. Like, you know.
And in the morning, Nemesaur's like, where was that fine gentleman painted in green? And he's like,
I
oh,
don't
Vargard's like, he had to go,
remember."
sir.
Yeah, right.
He had to be on his way.
I
He
don't
had a
recall.
meeting this morning.
Very
So-
sorry, Master Morty.
There's another cool ability with Vargard, who actually in the fluff is his servant that keeps him
Yeah, he's his
protected.
bodyguard. I like to think of him as his body slave.
He is
Like,
his body
if
slave.
I die, you die. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he's put on the pyre with him.
yeah, right. Like, doesn't matter if you're dead or not. Like, if I die, they're killing you with me.
Exactly right.
Tie you to the mast of my ship, and as it's like floating out to sea, they light it on fire, and you just have to die a painful, horrible death. Sorry.
So another thing they have that kind of lets you, I think, kind of sneak in a free deep strike, if you can set this up, is that if you can get Nemesaur to either deep strike in or to arrive via their transport, Vargard Oberon has an ability where at the end of his movement phase, so keep that in mind, he can move to get to a range to a unit, he and another unit within 6 inches can be removed from the battlefield and immediately placed within 6 inches of the Nemesaur and 1 inch away from enemy models. So it basically lets you fling another unit next to somebody where Nemesaur is. So I really like him. I kind of want to build him. Are you French Canadian us? Somebody?
Did you just fart on me?
Did
No,
you
I
just fart
didn't.
on Kyle?
Because one of the things I didn't talk about in the
You didn't
Adepticon
talk about. Share that real
episode-
quick.
Son of a bitch. So we're next to Legendary Defenders, which is a good team. They always make it to the showcase at Adepticon. And I understand it. You're eating... Basically, at Adepticon, you don't have time to go anywhere else for food. So you're eating con food, and, you're eating probably crap food, like junk food, the entire trip. So we're next to these guys, and they planned their display poorly. It was a beautiful display, don't get me wrong. They planned it poorly in that they had to have these big fucking banners on the sides of it, which pushed them into basically other people's display areas. So I'm basically shoulder to shoulder, standing back to back with this other French Canadian guy, and he just keeps fucking farting the whole time. And he's like... like they're silent, but they're definitely deadly. And I keep turning to him. I'm like, Jesus Christ, are you dying? I asked the guy, I was like, do you need to go to a hospital because it smells like something inside of you died, fucking came out of you, crawled back up into your asshole, died again, and then got farted back out. So yeah, hashtag fuck French Canada.
They were basically shoulder checking each other. You and
Yeah, I was essentially elbowing this guy the whole time
anyway
to get out of my fucking
So
space.
hashtag never again French Canadians.
Right.
So I also want to point out Imhotep the Stormlord. He's kind of their main character. I don't know if he's as good. What do you guys
Well,
think?
it's either Imhotep or Trazen, but yeah, Imhotep is like I think the big one.
He is the big one. He has the Pharaon of the Sautek dynasty, which lets you do My Will Be Done twice,
Which is good.
which is good. It's not bad at all. I
think
can't
it's
fault
pretty
it.
great.
Yeah.
I think the Stormlord is good.
So,
think
Lord
it's
of the
solid.
Storm, you just pick once per game an enemy unit, and on a
Also-
2-up, they take that many, whatever the dice roll is, that's how many mortal wounds they take.
Right. And that's once per game.
Once per game.
But here's the thing, though. With that dynasty, at half range, they get +1 AP.
They do.
So your warriors and immortal like Tesla will have -1 AP hitting on 2s.
He also is undying. He regains D3 wounds a turn. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, he gives you another command point too. That's never a bad thing.
Right.
So, overall, I think the new Necrons are going to be really good. I had my face beat in with a hammer by Necrons that were index Necrons. Granted, I was playing Thousand Suns, which doesn't say a lot. I still think the Necrons are going to be really good. What do you guys think? Yeah?
I think so. Here's what I think. I don't think that they're necessarily better than the Eldar, but they are a good army. Necrons have always been, in my mind, a solid competitive army. They're
durable, they're forgiving.
They're a new player friendly army for sure. They're very durable, they're very forgiving. There's not a lot of complex synergy you have to worry about.
Dark Elder, you make a mistake and you
Dark
you have lost
Eldar
the game.
super glass cannon. Like if you play it wrong, you're gonna have a real bad time. Necrons are kind of the opposite of that. I think they're going to be in the top 3 most competitive Xenos armies for sure. At least for a while. I really feel like it's them, Tyranids, and Eldar. Those are the best 3 Xenos armies in my opinion. And I think it goes Eldar number 1, Tyranids number 2, Necrons number 3,
and definitely Tau Empire.
Tau I would put behind Necrons.
Tau is scary.
Tau are good, but the problem with Tau is they still fold like a chair if you can get into their lines. Like they're definitely going to outshoot you every game, but if you can get past that, and there's enough ways to get past Overwatch that if you can get in there, you're gonna deal with them. It's not going to be that bad.
Cool.
Yeah.
Necrons. So, some interesting news I thought I'd share with you guys so you can get your take on it. A couple things, actually. First one is Asmodee, who's a company.
If you don't know Asmodee, they're the board game company that owns everything that's good that isn't from Cool Mini or not.
Well, I was going to say, if you didn't know Asmodee, you'll know Asmodee.
Yeah, right.
You play something
They
from
own
them.
FFG, Catan, Pandemic. Like they own basically, if it's a board game and you play it, it either comes from Asmodee or Cool Mini or not.
Yep. They have just launched their own entertainment division to develop
Shocker.
movies and shows.
Movies and shows? Are you shitting me?
So the first one,
Everybody
out
and
of
their
the
brother's
gate,
got a fucking streaming service now.
Settlers of Catan movie
A Settlers of Catan
in
movie?
development.
Holy shit, would that be boring? Are you shitting me?
I'm
Like,
not
what is it about?
making
Like, they
this up.
build a fucking village? They build, we built a village, and then,
Some aggressive sheep trading.
yeah, season 2, they upgrade the village into a city. But there's a robber who keeps robbing people.
We better find a knight to chase him off.
Yeah, right? Like, I hope we can maybe find some knights for these cities. Yeah. And those barbarians are really ruining all the traders. Like, boy, wouldn't it be nice if there were some new seafarers around?
Like one whole episode is devoted to getting stuck
I
in a
don't
desert
know.
in the middle of the
Yeah,
world.
right? I don't know how you make Catan... Like, okay, don't get me wrong. Catan is a solid board game. Mechanically speaking, it's really good. It's kind of like everyone's first experience for most big board gamers. But it's a Euro game. And the thing about Euro games is they're not based around theme, they're based around mechanics. You could slap any skin on Catan and it would still be the same game, right? It's a mechanics-driven game. And that's
Right.
not a bad thing,
Right.
right? Don't get me wrong. But here's the thing. The skin that's slapped on it, like, there's no depth to the Settlers of Catan. Like, there's no backstory that you're, like, getting. Like, yeah, there's a little, like, one paragraph piece of bullshit they wrote up at some point. But
Yeah.
it's not enough to make a goddamn TV show or a movie out of. Holy shit, that's
Oh,
going to
they
be terrible.
can. Oh, they'll do something with the robber, how he...
That's stupid.
Like, it's
I'm
really-
going to go out right now. That's stupid.
Like it's his dad in the village who's the leader, and he was chased off as a kid.
That's stupid. Here's the thing. If you are Asmodee and you want to
real
make a
mad
show
at-
about one of your board games, holy shit, you have so many good board games. Like, why is there not a Pandemic?
Yeah.
Why is that
Yeah.
not the flagship show? Pandemic, I would watch that show, right? That has an interesting premise.
Yeah.
The world is going to die if we don't stop these 5 super viruses.
Yep.
I could get behind that show. The world is going to die if we don't get some more sheep and wood.
I want to know.
I
who
can't
gets,
get behind. That's
I
dumb.
want to know who gets cast as the dispatcher though in that show.
Ooh,
yeah,
the dispatcher.
for Pandemic show.
I hope it's Morgan Freeman.
Yep.
I want his voice being like the dispatcher, really
Like
badly.
in your ear all the time.
Yeah, right. Ugh. There's so many other games they could do that would be really good shows that do have a lot of background to the board game.
Other than,
Settlers of Catan is
excuse
not
me,
that
sir,
game. I'm
would
sorry.
you like bricks for sheep?
You literally could get a better board game or a better show out of Monopoly. At least there's a
probably
premise
could.
there. Yeah, you could, because it would just be a fucking douchey real estate mogul show, but it'd still have more background to it than Settlers. All I can think of is they're going to set this show in Catan, and it's not going to have anything else to do with the board game other than it's set in Catan.
Yes, I would agree. What else you got for us?
So
I like a picture.
a friend of mine actually backed this. Hasbro has now got into like almost Kickstarter
Oh
mode.
God!
Like
Hasbro.
Hasbro's like, we'd also like to not spend any of our money before you give it to us too.
Exactly. So
Sure.
they put out a thing.
Do you think
they-
we can start kickstarting everything we do at the shop? Like, hey guys, we'd like to have a Friday Night Magic this weekend, so we're launching our Friday Night Magic Kickstarter, where you'll pay for 20 tournament entries before we actually do anything.
Or purchase any product.
Yeah, right. We're not going to buy any booster packs for you to draft until you pay for 4 drafts ahead of time.
So they.
But don't worry, you'll unlock stretch
So I
goals
have
like
to just
free
say
penny
before you
sleeves.
go on, Drew.
Sure.
Someone at the Hasbro boardroom,
Yeah, right.
I imagine, is now a winner at the company because they're like, okay, guys, I got a great idea. What if we start doing toys, but we don't pay for them?
That's exactly what it is.
It's brilliant.
So they had the idea. This is one of the largest toys they've done. It's Jabba's sail barge.
Hasbro's kind of... not a huge Hasbro fan.
They've got a thing. Yeah, I know.
I do like toys. I don't collect toys anymore because
They have this thing
collecting
called
is difficult.
HasLab, basically, and they come up with ideas. And their first idea is
HasLab is like their shitty version of a think tank.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
So
Neat.
put a 4-foot replica of Jabba's ship out, and if they said, if we get 5,000 people, we'll actually make this thing. So it's $500, and they got the 5,000 nerds to do it.
Like, oh my god, I need this Jabba sail barge.
Yeah.
It's in the movie for like 20 minutes, and they're like, this is the best thing ever.
Hey, do you like giant immobile slug people?
Do you
Have
want
I
a
got
pleasure?
a vehicle for you?
Do you want a pleasure yacht to cruise around a desert wasteland full of shitty
I
sand
have to
people who
admit,
try to kill you? Boy, we've got a toy for
Hit you
you.
with gaffies?
Frequently after a large buffet, I myself feel like I need a giant hovercraft to float me places.
So I'm a big guy, right? And CJ literally was out eating me every time we went to Portillo's.
Yeah,
It's impressive.
I can put it
CJ
away.
puts it away.
I can put it away.
So
Like I would
have-
have like a couple dogs, a fry, and a Coke, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm stuffed." He's like, "I had 2 hot dogs, an Italian beef, a piece of cake, and fries, and a Coke." And he's like, "I'm thinking about getting more." I was like, "Holy shit!"
You always shock me how low your prowess are for eating in one sitting.
I don't need a ton in one sitting. I just eat poorly. Like I drink a lot of soda. That does not help me.
Yeah.
It turns out there's a lot of hidden calories in soda.
Just empty calories.
Sigh.
So now that we have got the road to Adepticon behind
Wait,
us.
are we done talking about the sail barge?
Yeah,
debacle?
Yeah, that's enough.
They're like, "Nah, we're done talking about that. You're shitting on it."
No, I wouldn't have bought it.
You know what? I like. It just surprises me. The Kickstarter mentality is.
It surprised me
So-
that people do it, right? That
Well,
But-
I think part of that is part of the, like, it's a little bit FOMO, right? And then a little bit like the kind of, sort of age we're in right now is the age of, like, click button ordering and I think interconnected in a way that we're super disconnected, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not to say that, like, you should be, like, angry at Hasbro that, like, stores aren't selling this or anything. It's just kind of this
who
more of a
would've loved-
symptom, I guess.
You know who
that I
would have
see.
loved to have sold this? Toys R Us.
Toys R Us would have loved us. I don't want to live in this world anymore,
No.
actually,
Yeah.
without Toys R Us.
I hope Hasbro's
Hashtag
happy.
always a Toys R Us kid.
Literally stomping poor Jeffrey the
Here's
Giraffe into the ground.
Oh, I miss you, Jeffrey.
I
the
miss you,
Giraffe.
Jeffrey the Giraffe.
God, I miss Toys R Us.
Here's my thing, though. Like, on a base level, I think that Jabba's barge really speaks to Kyle because it's literally just a floating sex dungeon.
Of orgy, food, and murder.
It's orgy, food, and murder, and he gets to sit on a couch and he's like, more.
Like, as he's eating, he's watching large creatures pull people's arms off and stuff.
Fetch me the good marmalade.
Yeah, like I think it speaks to him on a good level.
I'm not saying I dislike the concept of Jabba's sail barge. I just don't get,
Also,
like,
you're-
as a toy, it's not high on my list.
You're
like,
completely nude on that
Oh,
audience
yeah, of
chamber.
course.
yeah, why wouldn't I be?
Yeah.
Like, of all of the vehicles they could have done a big ass version of, it just wouldn't have been my first choice. I would have gone for like an AT-AT.
I was just thinking that, like a 4-foot tall AT-AT.
Yeah, right? Like, give me an
Fucking,
AT-AT
I'm clear
that
in
I
a
can
corner of my
ride.
guest bedroom.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Yeah.
the success of this probably will lead to more like
It might.
Like
yeah.
when guests come, I want to say I'm putting you in the AT-AT.
I'm
room.
actually surprised
Right?
it took about 3 weeks before they got the 5,000 backers. But
That's a lot of backers for $500, though. It's a
It is.
shit ton of backers.
It's almost as but it's like double the amount of backers from the last Dwarvenite Dungeon or whatever. Like what's a Dwarven Forge project, right? But those guys are insane. Like, right, we were looking at that the other day. Like the last Dwarven Forge Kickstarter had like 2,700 backers, and they raised more than $1 million.
it was like $2.2 million.
$2.9 million.
We figured the average was an
$867 was the average backer pledge. Yeah, like for
Nerds
dungeon
got some
times.
money, man.
Right? Yeah, right. It turns out that all those guys who are mean to nerds are now just changing your oil.
making all them making all that IT salary money.
Right.
I have to share. So I remember I was in old Adepticon memory. This was like 4 years ago. I was in a painting class. It was teaching you how to master class faces.
Yeah.
And I soon knew I was out of my depth when the guy was talking about doing things and I didn't even know what the words meant anymore. And I was like, I'm just looking at him doing this now. I have no idea what's going on. But as he's looking around the room, somebody asks him, they're like, so what do you do for a real living? He's like, I work in IT. And it starts off this chain event of like 12 people like, oh yeah, I work in IT too. Oh yeah, that's funny. I work for Dell. I work for HP. Oh, that's funny. I work for Intel. And like it just keeps going around and around. And it got to me and I'm just like, I'm a student. And they're like, oh, cool. Are you going into IT? And I was like, no.
Oh, you're a student? Are you going to do IT like us? Everyone's adjusting their glasses,
Yeah.
and, like pocket protectors.
It was a
shit.
full IT room. It was
I work
really
in IT.
impressive. I know.
right?
I've done
Drew's
IT
sitting here
for
like,
10
I
years.
work in IT.
Yeah, Ryan's an IT guy. Drew's an IT guy. Kyle and I are the only non-IT guys here.
Right.
I did IT for 10 years, and then
I am actually.
no more.
I
This
have been
is
accused
cancer.
recently of being technologically incompetent.
You're a techno-barbarian. Are you fucking kidding me?
You really are.
like,
So the other day,
I love you, but
I was going to ask one of you.
technology is not your
Like,
strong
I wanted
suit.
to send a GIF, and I don't know how you find them. Do you Google them and then like put them in, download them, and save them, and add them? Or?
See, this is what we're talking about, right?
I
Are
didn't
you doing
know.
it- Okay,
I was like,
first
I
of
want to
all,
add a cool Star Wars GIF
I
to this.
thought
And I'm
I
like,
Are
the
you
old
doing it in
guy.
the Facebook Messenger?
yeah.
There's literally a GIF button.
Oh, see, I
Yeah.
couldn't find
There's
it.
a little plus button.
Oh.
You press the plus, and there's like 20 fucking GIF apps you can choose from.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then
See,
you just search for whatever you want to search.
I was Googling GIFs and then trying to download it on my phone and then save it as a picture and put it in, and I gave up.
You
because it was
can
too
do
much
it that
work.
way. It's just the hard way.
It was way too much work. So
I like how CJ's sitting there. Is like, how to GIF.
GIF.
Google how to give.
You Luddite.
I also learned there's RAM in phones. And I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your phone is a computer. It has RAM.
I didn't know that.
Anything with a computer has RAM.
I was like, it's a phone. It's not a computer.
No.
And I guess they're similar.
It's a computer.
It's a computer.
It's just a computer that can
I just know at one
uses
point
phone.
we're not going to call them phones anymore.
It one, you know,
Never.
in my mind, there was always still that flip phone that you flip open. And it was really cool because you could take a super grainy picture that you could maybe make somebody out on.
Right.
And it'd take you 12 minutes to send a text message of where you were meeting for lunch. Like,
My favorite phase was like on the MySpace when everyone had flip phones.
You had to
and
use T9 to type.
Yeah. And everybody's profile picture was that grainy stuff, and everyone was like, "This is the future of technology." And it's like, hey, like it's just everyone making this like half excited face, and it's all pixelated. You know? So it kind of looked like everybody was like the super Tourette's monster.
Biscuits.
Like, I remember our first home computer and it had 2 gigabytes as a hard drive. I was like, oh my god, there's so much room.
Right. Look at all the things we can store,
what are we-
text documents.
What are we ever going to use this much space on?
I-
And now we're like 2
Like,
gigs. Get out of
I
here,
have a
peasant.
1 terabyte SSD, and I'm like, I don't feel like it's enough. Like, I might need more memory.
That was like when I was a kid. So my dad's got he's a doctor, and he's in his office. He's always had good computers for billing and stuff when I was growing up. And when I was finally old enough where I asked him, and it was like, Dad, can I try the computer? And he was like, okay. He always said no before that. And so I went nuts printing out these old images that were just like little stock images of like a fireman giving a thumbs up or like a train. And they
CJ's like, look at all the pictures I can find.
and they printed on that old printer that had the edges, the
Yes.
reams. Yeah. Yep. And then you had to rip the edges off. Well, so I thought I was being cool. I was like 12, and I made all these images for my dad of like welcome to Dr. Young's office. Our hours are, and he came to work and he was like, "Why are there firemen everywhere giving a thumbs up saying welcome to my office?" He's like going around tearing them all down. I put them everywhere. I was so excited. I was like, "That's the coolest thing in the world."
I like how the first thing CJ prints out are like stock pictures of firemen instead of like tits or something.
I grew up on a ranch.
You were a
and
good kid.
And I was homeschooled. So and then I went to Baptist school, so yeah. No, we drew very God-friendly pictures on Sunday, sir.
Oh man,
that was my art class. Art class was taught by my pastor.
I grew up Catholic, and I went to Catholic school for a while, and I did Sunday school, like catechism, and I remember vividly my last day of catechism, where my parents were like, "Okay, you don't have to go anymore." When when I basically got asked to leave a class because the teacher was like, "You have a little bit of the devil in you," and I was just like, well, maybe. It's supposed we all do. You know what? I mean, technically, it's original sin. It's not my fault. I told my mom, she was like, I can't believe they said that to you. And I was like, I can't believe it either, Mom. She's like, well, you don't have to go anymore. And I was like, sweet.
Little did she know, the devil was inside you.
And it wasn't a little.
And it wasn't a little.
It wasn't a little. Spoiler alert, it's a
and
lot.
now we know whoever, what was that, a nun or something?
No, it was just like it was here in Wyoming. It was just a Catholic enthusiast, I guess. Okay. It wasn't a nun. I've had nuns as teachers.
They figured...
I have had my knuckles hit by a ruler.
See, that's the thing though. They figured you out at an early age.
Yeah, corporal punishment's real big in Catholic
maybe if
school.
they had figured it out earlier, you wouldn't be talking about like raping and eating every person you talk about now.
I don't talk about raping anybody. Jesus, that's terrible. Eating people, maybe.
Oh yeah, because eating someone's so much better than raping them.
It is. It's not a violation.
It is.
It's not.
The person's dead.
Let me tell you, I work in the prison
dead
system.
Inside.
And rape,
people don't have to be dead to be eaten. I want to throw that out there.
Yeah, they don't.
Our point is proven.
Let me tell you, I work in the prison system. There's a lot of rape that happens, and so it's kind of like, you got raped. It's not a big deal. But then when you're like, this dude ate somebody, you're like, holy fuck, that's intense. In the prison hierarchy, we've got a guy in prison. I won't use any names. Who did eat his wife with his girlfriend and him ate his wife together, and that dude's fucking metal as fuck. Like nobody screws with him. Like he's terrifying
because he'll eat you.
Yeah, and he's like he can be in an entire area full of rapists, and they're like, you don't mess with that dude.
He'll eat you. He will kill you.
We might rape you, but he'll eat your face. So there is a difference.
It's not his fault that the people taste so good.
No. So
they're just.
So do we want to talk about conventions a little bit?
Oh, we got off track there again. Sorry, everybody.
Sorry, shit got really dark there.
In another segment. So Adepticon is behind you guys, and we're looking.
Just so you know, GM Drew, literally put up a hand like, stop, like, don't talk about Adepticon anymore. That's how I interpreted that.
Oh. Are you a little sick of Adepticon?
No, not at all.
Do you hate Adepticon, GM Drew?
No. I want to go. I wouldn't.
I think that
I think you'd have a blast, actually.
I would have a blast. I wouldn't do anything.
I think here's the thing, guys. Hashtag does GM Drew hate Adepticon?
Ooh.
Trending.
Talk about it in the comments.
Sure.
It's not the same as the Donkey Trail of Chupacabra Con, but...
That is happening. 4 weeks.
You gotta make sure you don't get ambushed by an Apache on the way.
Ooh, yeah, you want to watch out for those Apache.
But
scalp
I'm not
you.
taking a train.
I don't trust anybody who buries their dead above ground. That's just weird.
Ooh.
Also, they will totally, this is one of their things, they'll put you on a wagon wheel, and then they'll light you on fire and spin it. That was one of their old things.
I mean, I can't argue with that.
Could you imagine... You're on fire, but also getting blood rushing to your head. You're like, this is the worst death ever.
I feel like the last thing you're thinking about is the blood rushing to your head. I'd be more like worrying about the liquid in my eyes boiling.
Well, and you have that awkward thing where when you're like turned upside down, like the flames are like going to be going up the nostrils. It's really uncomfortable.
Do they start the fire at the bottom or the top? Because I prefer that the fire
start at the bottom. It's your toes.
God, that's the worst.
They light your feet on fire and they spin you. And then once you're burned most of the way while your head's still unburned, they scalp you. Well, it's not a great way to go.
That seems like a lot of pageantry for a murder. I'm just saying, that's a lot of effort for someone who's not going to remember it in 10 minutes.
They really hated Mexicans.
The Apaches are real mean.
They were real mean to Mexicans. They didn't like the Mexicans the most. They did it to some white dudes too, but they really hated like the caballeros and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Chupacabra,
Now that we're done with our really
Austin,
brutal history
which
lesson.
is where this is coming from these fellas. So
It's mostly RPGs, right?
It's mostly RPG, and it's
And it's like indie RPGs too, right?
So I guess from what I've been told, this is my first time going.
Okay.
Where is it again?
Austin.
It's in Austin. It's a small con that a lot of the designers and developers have started going to, and it's kind of become that con. So if you want to go and play with the actual people who write these games, this is the con to go to.
Okay.
So
Just kind of cool that there is an event you can do that at. Like
Yeah.
it's an interesting concept where you can go to a con and play with like the designers. You don't see that very often. So
Right.
I think that's cool.
there's a new game, and it's on right now. It's called Torg. That
You could just say Kickstarter.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, it's the RPG world. It's
Yeah, I mean it's fine.
The entire world.
I don't for what it's worth, I don't hate Kickstarter. I just like the way it's used in a
Yeah.
lot of scenarios, but I think it's still used right in a lot of other scenarios. Like it's not
sure.
Kickstarter is not wholly at fault. I think
So
a lot
I've
of
never
it's the
played.
companies using.
I've never played this game, Torg. There's more to it, and you guys may know it more than me. But I've been told to get into this game, so I'll be reporting on that. I'm playing a Call of Cthulhu game.
It's always a blast. I love Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, I don't think I've played it. I've ran it a couple times. I don't think I've got to play in once. I'm really looking forward to that. And a couple Savage Worlds games. One Deadlands, one East Texas University. And then I'm trying to get into some pickup games because a lot of the Savage Worlds games are already filled up, and there's only so much space in this little hotel, and they've made space for D&D that I've no interested in, and a lot of space for Pathfinder. So if anybody out there is going and listen to this and wants a couple players, we'd be glad to jump in. You guys are doing Bug Eater,
Bug Eater! That's our next event. That's in Omaha, in the middle of Hellbraska.
Planet O.
Planet O. It is like a different planet because you have to journey through such a...
Wait a minute. If it's in Omaha, can we go to the zoo?
Can we go to the zoo? No, probably not. Are you going? Are you going to... Yeah, you're going.
I'm going.
Oh, that's right. The whole goal is to beat you and Ace. I forgot.
I'm going to go to the zoo if I can. I've already looked at taking the train to Omaha, but it's just not practical
Jesus,
in the
it's
hours.
not worth it.
It's not. It's not.
It's worth it when you have more
overnight.
than 12 hours worth of travel.
Yeah, it's probably
It's
worth
probably worth taking a train, especially overnight. Not worth it for an 8-hour
No,
drive.
it's not. Also, you arrive at like 3 in the morning. You're like, Omaha, here I am.
Yeah,
ready
like,
for an early day.
we can maybe find the one McDonald's.
I'll get myself some flapjacks and we're ready to get to work.
Yeah. Oh God.
So we'll be talking about all that over the next couple
The
weeks.
assault on Planet O.
Yes.
I still don't know what I'm playing for 40K. Maybe
For the
Death
singles-
Guard. Maybe
yeah, so
Necrons, maybe Guard.
I'm
I don't
playing.
know.
I'm playing in Age of Sigmar Championships, and I'm playing in the 40K doubles.
Is Bug Eater just a minis tournament?
It's-
Yes.
thing?
Yeah, it's just all.
totally
So
is.
it's like Adepticon, but a micro version of it without any of the vendors.
Okay.
The guy who runs it, Tim Royers, he's a really cool guy.
Super cool guy. I liked him.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's
Go ahead.
very well put together. Tim does a great job. He does a good job encapsulating a lot of the feel of the bigger.
If you want to go to
stuff
just a
with
little
smaller space.
regional event, or it's your first kind of bigger tournament, I don't think there's a better one out there.
Yeah, if you want to get into if you want to get into the traveling tournaments like LVO and Adepticon, Bug Eater is a great place to kind of test bed your like experiences, because it is, like I said, it is basically Adepticon without the vendors and in just a small scale. Like it's a mini Adepticon. That's really how it feels, and it's well put together. And Tim does a good job of running it.
So we look forward to talking to you about that. Also, one thing I want to get here so I can get these guys to commit is we've been talking about doing some live play games. And the first one that I think we're going to attempt, that I know we're going to attempt, is based on the Starfinder rules. And it's called Red Shirts, Adventures in Absurdity.
I'm going to be really good at this game. Yeah, I'm a pro at absurdity.
So,
He basically has a PhD in it.
just the premise, the real quick premise of it is the guys here will be playing recent graduates of the Academy and assigned to their first station aboard the CSS Uranus Hertz, who is captained by Jenny Tonic, and comedy will ensue.
It's like supposed to be kind of a spoof on Star Trek. It feels very Orville to me, and I love
Which
the
is a
Orville.
great show.
Yeah, phenomenal show. If you haven't seen the Orville, go watch it. Stop depriving yourself of enjoyment. It's fantastic.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I feel like this is going to be like. And I'm excited to play it for sure. Gonna be cool.
All right.
And we've got to get back to Dead of Winter Gunnison edition at some point, too.
We do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We got to do the last word.
The last
Are we
word.
on the last word already?
Are we on the last word?
We
Yeah, we're
are.
on the last
We're
word.
48 minutes in.
Huh. Well, this is kind of a shorter episode
Yeah.
then. I don't know.
If you want length, listen to our Adepticon episode.
Our Adepticon episode is a bit girthy. Are we doing a little assault on
almost
Planet
made a
O
comment
today, or
about
are
that,
we?
No, we'll start with that
We'll start with that in
next
2 weeks
coming weeks. Yeah.
because I won't be here next Sunday.
Ha! That means Ryan and I will get
sad.
to be like, this is what we're going to do to be awesome. And everybody listening, don't tell Kyle, even though he can listen to it himself.
Yeah,
These are our
so
secrets.
you're my teammate at Bug Eater, so
Oh,
I don't
fuck,
know what
you're
the
right.
fuck your plan is to team up with Ryan to plan some greatness. He's Ace's teammate. Fucking rookie, what the hell?
I got confused.
Tell me your secrets, old man.
Tell me your secret.
I'm doing the list design anyway, right?
I know. I want armigers
Yeah, there's armors.
and a
There's-
Skitari squad.
Yeah, there'll be at least one Skitari squad on
Okay.
each list. There's definitely a list that has a couple armigers in it right now. Turns out armigers are kind of expensive at 240 points a pop, so you don't get a lot of
They're
them.
a little expensive.
480, they're half the army
Yeah.
for 2 of them.
What's your
they're
last
spendy.
word, Drew?
I'll go first.
Sure.
I saw Justice League this week. Finally, I held out until it came out, and yeah, it was okay. I'm hoping, I'm hoping that Ready Player One. I'm gonna go see that this week. Is a good movie. I'm in the mood for a really good movie.
I guarantee it'll be better than Justice League.
Yeah.
Put a cash guarantee on that shit.
Good.
It's
'cause I
not
need
from
it.
DC, so it's going to be good.
DC pointed.
My last word is also movie related, and this might help you out, Drew.
Good.
Pacific Rim 2 is awesome.
Is it really?
I loved it. Okay, so let me back up.
Before you say anything, here's
Yeah.
what I thought by seeing it. It
Okay.
honestly reminded me of like more Power Rangers than
Yeah.
Pacific Rim.
I mean, that's what the whole kaiju kind of feel is, I think. Kaiju
It is. It's. I actually
Not
think,
to shit on Power Rangers, Curtis.
I actually think that the trailers make it look worse than the movie is. I went into it with the trailers thinking it was going to be kind of a B movie, and I left thinking this is good. Guillermo del Toro, he knocks it out of the park again. I mean, I love the strain. I love what he does.
Yeah.
I do like that they're fighting in the daytime and not in the water.
Yes.
You can tell they got some more money for special effects.
They got more money. But here's what I liked about it is it was not an abortion of a movie like Independence Day 2 was.
God damn it, that was disappointing.
It was the most disappointing movie I've seen in a decade.
Yeah, it was bad.
And it had so much hype. And, that was one where it was the opposite. The trailer made it seem amazing.
God,
and then
didn't it?
Yeah, the movie was awful. Pacific Rim 2, the trailer makes it seem super B and mediocre, and the movie's good.
Okay.
And what's good about it is that it actually kind of develops a new storyline and new things that are happening. There's not a lot of plot you can do with giant robots fighting giant monsters, but for the plot that was there, it surprised me a little bit. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that's why we were fighting these giant monsters this time. So that was really good. They have some new cast in it. They did good. And it's just a fun story. And if you're ready for giant robots as Titans, like I absolutely love Titans and giant robots, just battling the shit out of not just giant monsters like Godzilla, but also other robots. There are Jaegers fighting Jaegers in this one. So
Sweet,
get yourself
hot
ready.
Jaeger on Jaeger action.
Get yourself ready for some Titan Legion wars here, folks. And so that's definitely a blast. And the movie has fun with itself, right? Like, they decide to stage the last battle in Tokyo. So the kaiju, before the Jaegers arrive, are like tearing through Tokyo. And there's Japanese people running everywhere. And turns out it was actually better than the Godzilla movie that we had last. So, in that, 5 minutes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I did like that last Godzilla. It was pretty good.
One last comment. I like the Flash Gets version better where it's Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad,
Godzilla.
Walter
Walter White versus Godzilla.
Godzilla's just super pissed off and angry.
Breaking everything.
Oh God! It's like he's sort of like ADHD or something. I don't know. He's just really fussy. We need some of that super sweet blue meth to calm him the fuck down.
My favorite is where they tie stakes to his son and push him
Yeah,
out of
like,
the plane.
it's going to be a really dangerous job. We need some sort of character that no one cares about. Someone that can deliver the payload. I hope that I don't fall down on the way out the plane because if I break my leg, I could become paralyzed. Like, and they're like spraying him with lizard pheromones. They have a bunch of stakes strapped to him in a bag of meth. Just throw him out.
At the end, it's just Walter White versus Godzilla. Be like, say my name.
Goddamn right. By the way, Jesse loves it if you do that to him.
What's that?
So Jesse ready to regulate the shop.
Oh yeah, Jesse.
If you go, you have to be like, Jesse. He'll be like, what? He'll be like, we have to cook. And I'll give it to him. The kid's a champ. Every time he's like, yeah, science, bitch. He'll do it. He hates it, but he'll do it. Oh man.
What's your last word, Kyle?
My last word. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting us take a week off to go to Adapticon. We appreciate that. I will miss you all while I'm gone next week. I'll be in
He's going to
Florida.
be in sunny Florida.
I'll be in Florida next weekend, which will be kind of cool.
That's what I'll be doing. Still here in Cheyenne.
Still here in sunny Cheyenne.
Me too.
But yeah, we love doing the podcast, and we want to make it bigger and better. So if you got suggestions, feel free to tell us. Hopefully we'll get a nicer mic setup at some point, I think. It's definitely an improvement we'd like to make. And share it with your friends and comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, because it really helps us.
Send it out on your company server anonymously.
Yeah,
things
right? Like
that.
ping everybody in this, man.
Yeah.
Right? The more people we can get listening, the more we can really justify spending time and money on it. So we want to do that. We just need your help.
I probably would not play it for like a church group entertainment.
I would play it for a church group.
I would not, because I'm a nice person, but
sure. I would go.
This is why they knew that you had the devil in you.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what my pastor said? What Catholics were when we asked him?
What's that?
He's like mean Christians.
Mean Christians.
Yeah.
At least
I would
they
say
call
they're
us Christians.
sure, right? I would just say it's guilty Christians.
Guilty Christians.
That
He also
too.
said he prayed to statues, which was weird, but
I mean, so does everyone who's ever prayed to a crucifix. But yeah, sure.
his was like there were like ladies and different saints, and it was like they pray to saints.
Oh, sure, yeah. It's a little more omni-acceptant. Like,
yeah.
I know that the other Christians think that they're super good and don't need to pray to other saints, but you can have, God's busy. He doesn't need to hear all your fucking bitching and moaning. You can pray to some lesser
That's a
gods.
valid point. Basically, the saints are like HR.
Yeah, they're basically they're the saints. The way the Catholic Church uses it, the saints are basically there to screen all the bullshit complaints out. I'm having a really hard time finding this road. Well, there's a patron saint for that. Don't you worry. Don't waste God's time. Pray to the saint.
There's a level of bureaucracy.
Yeah, right. Like Catholic Church just understood bureaucracy better than the rest of them. So that's the thing.
Protestant God's got to just be like, oh my Lord.
Yeah, he's really overwhelmed.
Yeah, how much stuff I have to read every day.
Yeah.
Just too super bummed out, like drinking coffee.
See, and that's why, you guys don't waste time kneeling and standing and sitting, and we do that to filter out all the bullshit complaints. You gotta work out. You want to talk to
You've
the big
knelt
man. You gotta,
so much today.
You're
like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bring up this complaint.
You guys are really the whiners, right? You're just slinging complaints at the guy all the time. Well, the Catholics, at least, they're working out for it, right? They're working to get those complaints heard. Not that I really am a practicing Catholic at this point in my life.
I went to one Catholic service. Holy crap! It's like 1,000 squats. It's ridiculous.
I
I don't know how
married
old
once in the
people
Catholic
with.
Church.
I do too.
Yeah.
You know how you don't know how old people get through it?
Like really old ones with arthritis. I don't know how the hell they get through
It's
it.
called faith.
Yeah.
Nailed it. You're welcome, Nana.
What you got, Ryan?
Well, Kyle took my last word.
Aw.
So I'm
Did
just
I?
going to spin it. Yeah, it's okay, though. Spin off and like, comment, subscribe. Also, for my real last word, since Kyle took it, I'm going to cop out, and I really want to go to that Omaha Zoo now. I want to go see the bears and the gorillas.
I will take you there.
The only problem with going to the Omaha Zoo is you have to go a whole day early, and that's
Only half a day early.
That's a whole other half day I have to be in Nebraska.
I mean, but
We can
think
get
of
great
the bears
steaks.
and think of the gorillas.
I've seen bears and gorillas.
But in an awesome setting.
I know it has to be really cool. I'd go. It's just I really don't like Nebraska. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to any of our listeners who are from Nebraska. I don't dislike you. I don't hold it against you. But boy, that is a rough place to be.
Awesome.
All right.
We'll see you guys next time.
Have a good
Farewell,
one.
everyone.
Goodbye.